All right, Brian here from Garage Mahal, and we have this one basketball game behind us, and the motorcycle, that's another story. Anyway, the basketball game was operated by 3 AA batteries, which are in this pack, and basically for the scoring and everything. But the annoying thing was that it has a power button that's on the basketball game in front, and anytime anybody was over, guests or friends, they would always leave the game on. So literally, I'd put 3 batteries in, and they would last like one day, and then they were done. So since I like to tinker around with stuff, I figured let me just figure out. I'm not sure how the batteries I put in here, series or parallel, but that's neither here nor there. What I did is I hooked up a voltmeter, and I wanted to see what the voltage was of the batteries plugged in there. My delusion was that it was 4.5 volts. So, because you add them up, I guess that means that they're in series. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. But anyway, so when I put my hands on here, on the 2 wires, there, I got 4.5 volts is what the batteries are putting out. So, to make this basically Alexa operated, which is the goal of this entire project, I bought one of these Belker transformers, and this one, it has a adjustment in there where you can adjust the voltage. So basically I will adjust that to, it's set on 3 right now, but I believe it had a little screwdriver that it comes with. Yep, right here in this bag. So I will adjust that to 4.5 volts. So you can see how that was pretty easy to adjust there. 4.5 volts with the little screwdriver thing that they give you. And then the other neat thing is on the end of it, they give you an adapter, so you can do exactly what we're going to do. So it basically has a plus and a minus side, positive and negative side, and you just plug this in. And then on the controller itself, I have these 2 wires. You got your positive and your negative wire lead that I stripped down, and I disconnected them from the battery pack already, obviously. And I'm going to disconnect these batteries. So it won't be battery operated anymore. And I drilled a hole in the back of the battery compartment. So I used a 1-inch or ½ inch drill bit, and that was easy enough so this adapter can fit into the back. And then I can put this end on, hooked in, and then I can simply hook the wires up. So this left side is going to be negative, so I'm just going to slip that negative wire into that little post, and I should be able to screw down on it. Okay, that's pretty tight. You just twist this wire around. I'll put that wire in like so. Wire's not being cooperative. So that wire's in. And I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. I'm just basically screwing these terminals down so it holds that wire in place. And now I'll just put everything back together again, and we shall have a fully functional basketball game that can turn on through Alexa. So at the end of the day, when I turn the lights off in Garage Mahal, it'll turn his unit off completely, and everybody's happy. So let me just get this situated in here. I gotta bring a little more slack in here so it can line this up better. I'll lay down like that. The controller basically sits in. That's your scoreboard. Little plastic piece sits on here. And anyway, let me turn the camera off, get this situated a lot better in here, and then I'll show you how it looks with the game all hooked up. Okay, so I had to do some quick modifications because these little red and black wires, they were soldered on there kind of flimsy, so we disconnected them, resoldered wires, and then have a much stronger connection here. So you'll be able to get a better idea. And what I'm going to do now is just reinforce it better onto the back of this, and we shouldn't have any problems. Alright, so this is the back of the unit. Once it's plugged in, I taped up the back pretty good just to make sure that it holds in any wires that might pop out. Put some Gorilla tape on there, some electrical tape on that end to hold the connections together, and then I wrapped it over the top. So now we have the plug that's ready to go, and we'll plug that in and see how it works. Okay, so there's the game on, and it basically is activated by this on-off switch. But again, the only reason why I hooked this up is people would always forget to turn off. The batteries would be dead the next time we go to use it. So this is a solution I came up with, making it powered by a DC adapter because it takes 3 AAAs, and I wanted to add a little more to it and make it remote controlled through Alexa. So Alexa, turn basketball off.
Okay.
So Alexa responded, and boom, it goes out by itself. So hit the switch, and it's dead. Alexa, turn basketball on. I don't know if you could hear the faint click, but now we got power. So the game's up and working. So Alexa, turn basketball off. Yes. And boom, now it's off. So what I'll end up doing is hooking that up so that when I turn the lights off at the end of the night, it'll automatically kill the basketball game. So if it's been on, it'll be off. And then this way it'll save us from going through a lot of AA batteries, 3 at a time. And if you know how much they cost, they get expensive real fast. Anyway, so this little device I think I set up for the Alexa adapter was about, I think it was $10. I'll post the links at the bottom. And then, you know, the wire and the soldering gun and all that stuff I automatically had, but I'll put links to that stuff too. But it was a pretty easy project. Anyway, hope that helps everybody. Thanks. Brian from Garage Mahal out. Thanks for watching and subscribing.